This is an installation video on the new mesh switch panel. As you can see, it's now fully installed. What I had to do when I popped this panel out, I used panel popper, which is the best thing to use. Don't use a screwdriver, don't use anything sharp, because then you might scratch or dink up your roof liner. So what I did is I just put my panel popper in, and this little pipe pressure, twist and turn, and it pops right out. As you can see, it's popping right out. Let me get the other side, and then you'll see. As you can see, just a little twist, and it just pops right out. Okay. That being said, okay, as you can see, the switch panel's in. Right up here, you have this nice little hole in here. What I had to do is I had to modify this right here, because these little ribs actually press out, and then they push down on the switch panel, and then it actually puts a little space on it. Because if you see right here, switch panel is nice and flush, but right over here, these little ribs, you gotta modify them. I used a nice little Dremel with a little sanding bit on it. A little work, but it wasn't that bad, and just filed them down a little bit here, so that, you know, it makes like a little bevel, so these switch panels can sit flush. This right here is the main lead that is supplied with the switch panel. I used a snake, fed it through the roof liner, and then what I did was I pulled this out, okay, which is your A-post handle. There's a screw here, and there's a screw right here. It's an 8mm screw, 8mm or 10mm regular hex head screw. Pop those out, this pops right out. And again, I would seriously suggest using a panel popper. Don't use a screwdriver, so this way you don't damage your vehicle. Pull this out, then I pulled out the weather trim right here, and then I was able to pull out this panel, which gets me to down here below, where I had my original switches, here, and over here. Alright, so I pulled that out, and then I was able to make my connection, because all my stuff was already professionally wired with resistors, fuses, and the whole nine. So I was just able to actually take the hot lead and the accessory lead, connect them to the leads that are very clearly marked on the other end of this switch panel, and I was able to make my connection and use my interconnects. All right, so you got to pull the A-post panel off, and then you can run the cable right behind here, okay? Because you have your side impact airbag right here, and you got another impact airbag here. So I was able to get it through, run a fish wire back through to here, pull it through, and then I was able to pull this one back through, run it along the side here, then on down in here, and once you have this panel off right here, you'll see that there's plenty of space to get in between to right down below where your dashboard is. So I pull this panel off with my panel popper, okay, and then I was able to have access to this whole thing. Your dashboard over here pops off very easily. It's just slight pressure, you pull it, lift it, and it'll come right out. All right, and that's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to pause this for a second, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like fully installed.